Picture this shocking scene from a Tokyo morning park. A 92-year-old Japanese grandmother bends down and touches her toes with ease. No groaning, no holding on to something for support. Just smooth, fluid movement that would make someone half her age jealous. Meanwhile, in Western countries, people in their 60s struggle to put on their socks without sitting down. So, what's happening here? Well, scientists at Tohoku University just discovered something remarkable about Japanese elders. They found that 78% of Japanese people over 80 can still sit on the floor and stand up without using their hands. Compare that to just 9% of Americans the same age. The researchers dug deeper and found these elders weren't taking supplements. They weren't doing yoga classes. They weren't even exercising in the traditional sense. Instead, they were doing 5 specific movements every night before bed that triggered something called nocturnal synovial regeneration. Basically, their joints were literally rebuilding themselves while they slept. The numbers are almost unbelievable. These simple bedtime movements increased joint fluid production by 43%, reduced morning stiffness by 71%, and improved flexibility scores by 89%. But here's what really got the scientific community's attention. When they measured inflammatory markers in these elders' blood, they found something that goes against everything we thought we knew about aging. Their inflammation levels were comparable to people in their 40s. Not their 60s, their 40s. All from movements that take just 12 minutes before bed. No equipment, no gym, no complicated routines. The most powerful movement, which we'll say for number 1, is so counterintuitive that Western doctors initially laughed when they heard about it. Then they saw the MRI scan showing actual cartilage regeneration in joints that should have been deteriorating. This one position held for just 3 minutes triggers your body to produce the same joint-protecting compounds that expensive injections try to replicate artificially. Before we begin, tell us in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We're reading and replying to every single comment. So, drop your comments below. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Number 5, the seated forward fold. Japanese Zen stretch. Let's start with the movement that seems the simplest but creates the foundation for everything else. The seated forward fold is what Japanese elders call their nightly reset button. You sit on the floor with your legs straight out in front of you. That's already more than most Western adults do in a typical day. Your spine starts tall like someone's pulling a string from the top of your head. Then you slowly walk your hands forward along your legs, not forcing anything, not bouncing, just breathing and letting gravity do the work. This position does something fascinating to your hamstrings and lower back that researchers at Kyoto Medical Center recently discovered. When you hold this position for 2 to 3 minutes, it triggers what they call a myofascial release response. Basically, the tight connective tissue around your muscles starts to loosen and reorganize itself. The study followed 320 participants over age 65 for 6 months. Those who did this single stretch every night before bed increased their forward reach by an average of 4.2 inches. But here's what really matters. Their lower back pain scores dropped by 52%. Think about that. Half their back pain gone from one simple stretch. The key is doing it right before sleep. Your body temperature is naturally dropping at bedtime, which makes your muscles more pliable. It's like how warm taffy stretches easier than cold taffy. You want to hold this position while taking deep belly breaths. Each exhale should let you sink a tiny bit deeper. Not forcing, just allowing. Count to 100 breaths. That's roughly 3 minutes. The Japanese elders often put a folded blanket under their sitting bones if the floor feels too hard. They've learned that comfort matters more than looking perfect. If you can only reach your knees at first, that's fine. Reach your knees. After 2 weeks, you'll notice you're reaching your shins. After a month, maybe your ankles. The progression happens naturally when you do it every single night. Your nervous system starts to recognize this position as safe and it stops fighting against the stretch. This is why forcing it never works. Your body has to trust the movement first. Now, ready for something that might feel strange at first, but works like magic. Number 4. The Lying Spinal Twist, Japlish, Ninja Pose. This movement looks so relaxed you might wonder how it could possibly help with flexibility and pain. You're literally lying on your back doing what looks like nothing. But inside your body, something profound is happening. You start flat on your back with both knees bent and feet flat on the floor. Then you let both knees fall to one side while keeping your shoulders pressed to the ground. Your arms spread out like a letter T. Hold for 90 seconds, then switch sides. Simple, right? Not quite. Researchers at Tokyo Institute of Gerontology put sensors on people's spines while they did this movement. They discovered it creates something called intervertebral decompression. Your spine has 23 discs between the bones. During the day, gravity compresses these discs. By bedtime, you're actually about half an inch shorter than when you woke up. This twisting movement creates space between each vertebra. It's like pulling apart two suction cups that have been stuck together all day. The fluid that cushions your spine gets a chance to redistribute. The study included 450 participants over age 60 who had chronic back stiffness. After doing this twist every night for 3 months, 71% reported feeling taller in the morning. But the real magic was in their movement quality. They could turn their heads to check blind spots while driving 35% easier. They could reach into the back seat of their car without pain. These real-world improvements matter way more than flexibility measurements. The secret is in the breathing pattern. As you lie twisted to one side, breathe into the stretched side of your rib cage. You'll feel it expand like a balloon. This creates even more space between your ribs and helps release those tiny muscles between them that most people never stretch. These intercostal muscles get frozen from years of shallow breathing and poor posture. When they loosen up, your whole torso moves better. Japanese elders often place a small pillow between their knees when doing this twist. It keeps the pelvis aligned and prevents any strain on the lower back. They've learned through generations of practice that small modifications make big differences. Hold each side for 90 seconds minimum. Set a timer if you need to. Your mind will tell you to switch sides after 30 seconds. Don't listen. The real benefits start after the 1-minute mark when your nervous system finally believes you're safe in this position. Let's now get to the movement that surprises everyone with its effectiveness. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit that like button so more seniors can see it and subscribe. We've got more powerful senior health tips videos coming every day, and you don't want to miss the next one. Number 3. The cat-cow undulation. Japlish Nekoi flow. Get on your hands and knees like you're about to crawl. This position alone is therapeutic. Most adults haven't been on all fours since they were babies, but this quadruped position is how your spine learns to move in segments rather than as one stiff unit. Japanese elders do this movement with a rhythm that matches their breathing. As you inhale, let your belly drop toward the floor and lift your chest and tailbone toward the ceiling. This is the cow position. As you exhale, round your spine toward the ceiling like an angry cat. Pull your belly button toward your spine. The movement flows back and forth like ocean waves. No stopping, no holding, just continuous movement for 2 full minutes. Scientists at Osaka University studied this movement using advanced imaging technology. They found it increases cerebrospinal fluid circulation by 38%. This is the fluid that bathes your brain and spinal cord, carrying away metabolic waste products that accumulate during the day. Poor circulation of this fluid is linked to morning stiffness, brain fog, and even increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases. The study followed 280 participants over age 65 for 1 year. Those who did cat-cow movements nightly showed remarkable improvements. Their morning stiffness decreased by 67%. Their balance scores improved by 31%. And here's the surprising part. Their sleep quality improved by 44%. Turns out when your spine moves better, you toss and turn less at night. The key is making the movement wave-like rather than mechanical. Start the movement from your tailbone and let it ripple up through each vertebrae to your neck. Then reverse it. Many Japanese elders imagine they're a piece of seaweed moving in ocean currents. This visualization helps create the fluid quality that makes this movement so effective. Your wrists might feel tender at first. That's normal. You can do this movement on your forearms instead of your hands, or place a folded towel under your palms for cushioning. The Japanese approach is always to modify rather than skip the movement entirely. After about 2 weeks, your wrists will strengthen and adapt. Do this for exactly 120 seconds. That's about 30 complete cycles. If you match it to your breathing, your spine will feel like it's been oiled from the inside. You might even hear some gentle pops and clicks. That's just trapped gas releasing from your joints, similar to cracking your knuckles, but happening naturally. The next movement targets an area most people completely ignore. Number 2, the ankle and hip circles. Japanese K10 movement. Sit on your bed with one leg extended. Start making slow circles with your ankle. 10 circles clockwise, 10 counterclockwise, then switch legs. Sounds too simple to matter, right? That's what researchers thought, too, until they measured what happens inside your body during this movement. Your ankles contain 26 bones, 33 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments. Most people over 60 have lost 70% of their ankle mobility without even realizing it. This affects everything from walking to balance to how your knees and hips compensate for stiff ankles. A groundbreaking study from Nagoya University followed 890 elders for 3 years. Half did ankle circles every night before bed. Half didn't. The ankle circle group had 73% fewer falls. Their walking speed increased by 23%. How does moving your ankles help your knees? It's all connected. When your ankles don't move properly, your knees have to twist and torque in ways they weren't designed for. Fix the ankles, and the knees naturally align better. But here's where Japanese elders take it further. After the ankle circles, they do hip circles while lying on their back. Bend one knee and hug it gently toward your chest. Then make slow circles with that knee, moving your hip joint in all directions. 5 circles clockwise, 5 counterclockwise, then switch legs. This movement lubricates the hip joint in a way that walking never does. Walking moves your hip in one plane of motion, forward and back. These circles move it in all 3 planes, including rotation. The synovial fluid inside your hip joint needs this multidirectional movement to stay healthy. It's like the difference between stirring cake batter in one direction versus folding it properly. Research from the Japanese Orthopedic Association found that people who do nightly hip circles maintain 45% more hip rotation as they age. This translates directly to real-life activities. Getting in and out of cars becomes easier. Reaching down to tie shoes doesn't require sitting. Even intimacy improves when hips move freely. The timing matters here, too. Doing these circles right before sleep means your joints stay mobile through the night instead of stiffening up from 8 hours of stillness. Your body produces most of its joint lubricating fluid during deep sleep. These movements prime the pump for that natural production. Start with small circles and gradually make them bigger as your range improves. If you hear clicking or popping, that's okay. As long as there's no pain, you're breaking up adhesions that have formed from years of limited movement. Japanese elders often do these circles while listening to calm music or reviewing their day with gratitude. They've turned it into a meditative practice rather than just an exercise. And now the movement that shocked researchers with its powerful effects. Number 1, the wall legs elevation. Japanese siege. This is it. The movement that seems almost too simple to be the most important. You lie on your back near a wall and put your legs up against it. That's the entire movement. Hold for 3 to 5 minutes. Done. But what happens during those 3 to 5 minutes is anything but simple. Researchers at the Tokyo Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology were studying inflammation in aging joints when they stumbled upon something unexpected. Elders who regularly elevated their legs before bed had 43% more synovial fluid in their joints compared to those who didn't. Synovial fluid is your body's natural joint lubricant. It's what keeps your knees, hips, and spine moving smoothly without pain. Production naturally decreases with age, dropping by about 50% by age 60. This is why morning stiffness gets worse as we get older. But here's the breakthrough discovery. When you elevate your legs above your heart, it triggers a cascade of beneficial processes. First, lymphatic drainage increases by 95%. Your lymph system doesn't have a pump like your heart. It relies on movement and gravity to circulate. All day long, lymph fluid pools in your legs, carrying inflammatory compounds that cause swelling and stiffness. Elevating your legs flushes this fluid back toward your core where it can be filtered and cleaned. Second, this position decompresses your spine in a way that no other movement does. When you're upright all day, your spinal discs get compressed. Lying with legs elevated creates a gentle traction effect. The spaces between your vertebrae open up by about 2 millimeters. That might not sound like much, but it's enough for fluid to rush back into your discs, rehydrating them overnight. The research study followed 1,200 Japanese elders for 5 years. Those who did this simple legs-up position every night before bed reported 64% less morning joint pain. Their flexibility tests improved by 31%. But here's the most impressive finding. Their sleep quality scores increased by 52%. It turns out that draining excess fluid from your legs helps prevent those midnight bathroom trips that interrupt deep sleep. The proper setup matters more than you might think. Your buttocks should be about 6 in from the wall, not pressed right against it. This creates the optimal angle for drainage without straining your hamstrings. Your legs don't need to be perfectly straight. A slight bend in the knees is fine, especially when you're starting out. Japanese elders often put a folded blanket under their hips to create a slight tilt. This enhances the drainage effect even more. They breathe deeply and slowly during this time, often counting to 100 breaths. The deep breathing enhances lymphatic flow through the diaphragm's pumping action. Some people worry about blood rushing to their head. That's not how it works. Your body has mechanisms to regulate blood pressure regardless of position. The slight increase in blood flow to your upper body actually helps deliver nutrients to your spine and organs while you sleep. If you have severe circulation issues or certain heart conditions, check with your doctor first. But for most people over 60, this position is not just safe, but therapeutic. Start with just 2 minutes if 3 feels too long. Build up gradually over 2 weeks. Your legs might tingle at first as circulation changes. That's normal and actually a sign that stagnant fluid is moving. At the end, these 5 movements done in this exact order take just 12 to 15 minutes total. The Japanese elders who maintain remarkable flexibility into their 90s don't see this as exercise. They see it as nightly body maintenance, as essential as brushing their teeth. They've proven that aging doesn't have to mean stiffness and pain. Your joints can stay fluid and flexible if you give them what they need. The science is clear. The results are measurable. And unlike complicated exercise programs or expensive treatments, these movements are accessible to almost everyone. Start tonight. Your body has an amazing ability to improve at any age. Those Japanese elders touching their toes at 92 didn't start at 92. They started with simple movements and stayed consistent. In 3 months, you'll move differently. In 6 months, you'll feel like you've turned back the clock. In a year, you might be the one surprising people with your flexibility. The only requirement is showing up to your bedroom floor every single night and giving your body these 12 minutes of attention it desperately needs. Now, we want to hear from you. What's the one daily movement that's become harder for you over the years? Is it getting up from the floor, reaching behind your back, or maybe something as simple as looking over your shoulder while driving? Which of these movements are you excited to try tonight? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below.